Thank you very much. News 24. I thought you were going to ask about the venue. Because of the NEC, it seemed to be a point of interest to News 24. So you must pay attention that the ANC and its structures throughout the country, we hold meetings most of the time in council offices. So the fact that we changed the venue from this direction to that direction had nothing to do with money. It was security considerations on our part. So, and the security considerations are not communicated to the public. But we realize that this venue matter has been blown out of proportion and distorted. There in Alberton, I'm sure more than once you have been invited there, where the ANC, among others, its president, addressed what is called a barometer launch of the councillors. Caucus meetings by parliamentarians have been held in that council. So it's not for the first time that we utilize council office. Here in Johannesburg, we have met in the council chambers many times as the NEC. So I just want to bring that to your attention so that you are aware that we do hold meetings in council chambers in different provinces and all of that, because those are facilities for holding meetings. And if you are required to pay, we pay. And which is what has happened even now with regard to Eguruleni. On the early conference, we did not consider early conference for the province of the Eastern Cape. In our meeting, we agreed that all conferences must be concluded, regional conferences, by December this year. SACP members in the ANC Power FM, in our view, the resolution of the SACP is forcing members of the ANC who are members of the SACP to choose between the ANC and the SACP. So the notion of dual membership doesn't fall away, but the implication of that decision essentially says choose between the ANC and the SACP. We discussed the perspective, the correctness of the alliance with the Communist Party, and that the ANC is a party that leads the National Democratic Revolution. So the Communist Party is not saying that it wants to lead because they want to be at the helm of leading the National Democratic Revolution. So in this particular instance, they don't say they want to contest elections because they want to entrench socialism, which we believe that it's a decision that we cannot persuade them away from if they arrive at that particular conclusion. But our discussions at the level of the National Executive Committee is that we must continue to engage with them. And if we fail, we fail. And it means we must now embark on the new discussion, which is going to be a discussion of how do we deal with a Communist Party that is contesting elections for whatever reasons they will advance as the African National Congress. So, and we can't waste time on that particular matter. Because if they contest elections, and it will have an implications for the alliance, in our view. So in this particular instance, it's a matter that we need to grapple with and also guide our structures throughout the country on the SACP. For instance, there's a lot of things we share with the Communist Party. We share our strategy in terms of contesting elections. They attend our strategy workshops, but they participate in all the processes led by the ANC in relation to the appointment of public representatives and so on. So this decision will mean that all of those things, for instance, will be reviewed in terms of how we work with them. Zolega, GNU engaging other parties. We have been mandated in terms of the statement of intent. We have to talk to the partners in the GNU, which is what we're going to do. And the officials have been mandated to process that decision in terms of the government of national unity. We did get the report of the Deputy President and Comrade Tembis Melani, and matters relating to those reports were referred to the national officials to process. So once that is done, we will be able to communicate more on those reports. We didn't discuss Ezuluini. The question you asked about Ezuluini, we didn't discuss that. Expansion of the GNU, Ms. Tele, expansion of the GNU to other political parties, I think it is covered by the answer that we are going to process that discussion with others in terms of this GNU invitation of others to participate. How is that going to happen? But the ANC affirms that the GNU is a correct tactical intervention for the country for reasons of stabilizing politically and economically this country. The DA political mischief we see from time to time in the GNU, it's a matter that we need to address. And we have made an example here about the issue of the tariffs. You must understand that the tariffs imposed by the United States of America are negatively going to affect our economy. And you can't, for national interest, say no, undo BE and all of that in order to appease the United States of America, because among others, this is what the US want from us, that we must do away with certain policies, which for us, in terms of transformation, it's not going to be possible. You know, during the period of struggle, the United States of America, even under Reagan, characterized the ANC as a terrorist organization. Oliver Tambo went to meet the President of the United States schools. And this ambassador of the United States, who's been sent to our country now, was one of the right-wing proponents of that resolution, of banning the ANC and that we should be regarded as a terrorist organization. And our president then, Oliver Tambo, went in the United States of America to clarify that we're not a terrorist organization. Now we are in the democratic dispensation. The president of the United States of America, we go to see him through the president of a democratically elected South Africa. We sit with him, he plays videos for us there. And then videos, and then says on the basis of those videos, the whole of our nation must be punished. He's not coming to the G20, and then that is it. Despite the fact that facts say something different. In the delegation, you've got prominent business people from South Africa who say that this thing you are talking about is not the way it's unfolding in the country and all of that. But they are not retreating. They are intensifying. So it's to basically coerce us to do things that are anti-transformation. It's not possible. If it means we're going to suffer through sanctions as leaders of the ANC, let it be. We'll never back imperialists to subvert our democracy, to subvert our sovereignty. It happened during the period of struggle. It will happen even now. We will never forsake our country, which we fought for its liberation. And we're still marching on even now. Not this ANC, not this leadership. If they want to bring sanctions on us, let them bring them. But this country, South Africa, all its citizens know that it is a democratic country, it's a liberated country, and we are still transforming this country in order to achieve equity. And we will still pursue redress because we are not equal in this economy. This economy is still male, white dominated. And you want to tell us to abandon policies that seek to advance transformation. We're told by somebody who's more wealthy than all of countries combined in the world that I'll give you Starlink, but you must not do black economic empowerment. In our country, we must agree to that. It's not possible to agree to that. You are asking us to abandon what we stand for. You are asking the ANC, this African National Congress, to stop struggling and then close shop and become something. We are not DA. DA has to agree with that because they don't want affirmative action. Leave black economic empowerment. They don't want affirmative action. They don't want redress. They don't believe in transformation. Now they are talking about black economic empowerment, which we reviewed and said that is triple BEE. And then we broadened it to be broad-based and all of that. And then their anti-transformation is a party of anti-transformation. So if you ask us all of these things that the Trump administration is asking us to do, they are asking us to abandon the very essence of who we are, which is not going to be possible. If we are punished for advancing and defending South Africa, that should be the case. We have gone to them. We have asked them. This fringe, right-wing fringe in our country, that goes to America and lie about our country. We have said to them that go and settle there if you want to. Just like in Cuba, Fidel Castro opened Cuba, and then Cubans who want to leave must go. They went and settled in Miami. And then thereafter, they punished Cuba with sanctions. Here in South Africa, Donald Trump called for whites here, gave them special status in America. 49 car guards arrived in America. Car guards arrived in America. He is saying that we are a racist country, we are everything else. He gave them special status to leave. They didn't leave. And then when they arrived there, it's chaps who are looking after cars here. Because this country, they are the most well looked after people by this economy. They are okay. KTK, they are fine in this economy. And then they did not go to the United States of America. In less than a week being there, they started killing each other there. A man killing his girlfriend there. This is what they do here. Killing each other over something. They are in the courts. Killing our people, saying they look like monkeys. Killing blacks here in our country. And then they went to badmouth us in the United States of America. But Donald Trump invited them to come. They didn't go. They didn't leave this country, South Africa. They are still here. Some girl, are we throwing the towel? We're not throwing the towel with regard to the SACP. We point to ideological challenges about the party position. We also point to contradictions this is bringing. But as you would have heard, the General Secretary of the Communist Party is very clear. There's no retreat. They are going for the elections. Even when we met with them, we reported to the NEC that we said we must not go through this path. Let's consider reconfiguration and work out things between the two organizations. They insist on that particular path. But our mandate is that one. All I'm saying is that we may as well fail at some point to persuade them out of this thing of contesting for elections. And when that happens, we are now going to have to look into, in the next 2 weeks, the implications of this decision and how we are going to operate as the two parties going forward. Because there's a lot of implications in relation to this decision. IDT CEO, anyone who's corrupt or implicated in corruption, the rule of law must prevail. So the rule of law must prevail. So that goes even for the IDT CEO. If he's implicated in bribing people, all those implicated in corruption, the law and the law must deal with them. It doesn't matter who they are. That's what is important. We must not philosophize about this. Lizeka, I've addressed the issue of coercion and the United States of America. We do consider research. Afrobarometer, SRF, Ipsos, our own research, we consider them in our meeting, what they say about us, what they say about GNU. Most South Africans are very positive about the GNU. All right? That's what the polls are saying. They are not saying anything different from each other. And then they look at the ANC support and it has stabilized. It is now above 40% in the GNU. So the research from our part looks good in terms of the GNU. And we do consider that. This national dialogue is not ours, okay? The national dialogue is a national dialogue for all South Africans. So we look at the national dialogue in terms of the ANC's relationship with that national dialogue. We see it as an important platform, which we ourselves, we will participate with the rest of South Africans who will be taking part in that national dialogue. It's not an ANC thing. Should the national dialogue look at the implementation of the NDP, that is what it will do. And then if it says that the NDP is not fully realizable within the remaining time frame towards 2030, the national dialogue will give direction, because national dialogue, in our understanding, it is going to be at the end of the day about social compact and giving direction in terms of what needs to be done. UFM, has the ANC done enough to rebut the lies? We have done enough. We went even to the White House through the president, not even the ANC. The president of the country went to the White House, and then you watched it live on television, and then he was hit by a movie there about Malema and Kill the Boer. As the ANC, we sang that song, but no member of the ANC today will be allowed to sing Kill the Boer. Simple as that. Even if the Constitutional Court said you can sing, why should we sing Kill the Boer in a democratic dispensation? We sang the song because we're fighting the commandos when we infiltrate the country from Limpopo. They deployed the Boers, commandos, to kill the guerrillas as we infiltrate the country. From Angola and in the frontline states, we sang Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer, in order to infiltrate the country and come inside and fight. Now you listen to clowns that says, no, in the camps we're selling drugs. I mean, we're not fighting. Clowns openly in this podcast insult our struggle and the memory of brave men and women of our struggle, and insult them that, no, we were in exile selling drugs. How can you sell drugs in Angola, in the bush, where we were training alongside FAPLA and the Cubans to defeat the Boers in the Battle of Cuito Carnival? We've got graves and soldiers who never came back home and died. We rebury them every day. A clown says people went into exile, they were selling drugs. You know? But for that clown, we're going to take it to task. And then the other clown says we got money from Iran. We didn't get money from Iran. Another clown again says, no, ANC got money from Iran, and he keep repeating this lie. We didn't get any money from Iran. The United States imposed sanctions on Iran. We are not trading with Iran, even if they've got oil. But a clown says, no, we got money. Even the CIA, I'm sure they can tell you, they regard themselves as the best intelligence outfit, can tell you that it's not true that the ANC got money from Iran. We didn't get any money from Iran. And then they say to us that we're selling weapons to Ukraine, not to Ukraine, to Russia. Russia has got the best weaponry in their fight there in Ukraine. We fight and advance a non-partisan approach in terms of Ukraine and Russia. Our president traveled 10 hours on a train to meet the president of Ukraine and advance to Moscow to meet President Vladimir Putin. And then somebody then from the United States, with a bow tie, made a statement bravely so that, no, we supply arms. And then we establish a commission of inquiry. A commission of inquiry comes out. The DA says, no, that commission is questionable because it was checked in secret by the judge and all of that. The DA. These people, where do they draw the line in terms of partisan interest and national interest? They hate this country. They go to America, go and tell Donald Trump what he wants to hear, and all of that, and come back to this country again. Hate our economy. When our people are unemployed, we no longer trade with the biggest markets like the United States and all of that. They will be coming back and blaming us. They said to the United States, we must be hit with sanctions as politicians of the ANC, like Zimbabwe. What did we do? We are not a dictatorship. We have just formed a government of national unity. We underperformed in an election. In less than 14 days, we formed a government of national unity, not persuaded by anyone in the world, independently. Here in this country, they now want to accuse us of dictatorship, that the ANC this, ANC that, and all of that. They advocate for sanctions against our country, disguised as tariffs to hit us. And then these people, they agree with them. Where is national interest, and where do we draw? And where do we draw? Where do we draw the line? So we have worked very hard to rebut the lies of the United States of America. South Africa as a country must continue to pursue trade relations, even into into new markets. It's very important to do that as a country, as a sovereign state. We are not a branch of the United States. We are a country, full country, state, president, and everything else. So we have to be dealing with these matters with that clear understanding. Now, there are people in our country that go to the US, badmouth the country and all of that. And then they come back to our country and settle with us here. So when all these things are coming our way, in the manner in which they are, they want to shift the blame and blame it on the government of the ANC. We have not gone to the United States or undermined democratic processes in this country. We govern with the full respect of understanding that our governing is dependent on the vote of the people. Like the Freedom Charter says, no government shall claim authority unless it is based on the will of the people. That is the preamble of the Freedom Charter. And even ourselves here, we govern at the behest of the people of this country. Those are our bosses, and we respect their will. And that is it. We have never held this country at ransom and all of that. We govern even now for national interest, for stability of our country, for ensuring that this country flourishes in terms of the economy and all of that. And then we brought everybody, we said, come, let's govern together in the GNU. The DA wanted a marriage between us and them. We said, no, bring everybody. Even now, we are ready to bring more into this government. Those who want to leave can leave. But this country must not collapse, and it's not going to collapse at the hands of the ANC. It's going to succeed going forward. Thank you very much.
I think I'm moving to the next round.
What is it?
It was a follow-up. Please, Aga.
On the 25 of your constitution.